out there? Welcome back to the Phantoms Fank YouTube channel. I am back with another review, and this week, because Prey is coming out later this summer, I will be reviewing Predator, released in 1987, starring Arnold Schwarzenegger, Carl Weathers, Shane Black, Kevin Peter Hall, Sonny Landham, and Jesse the Body Ventura, and Bill Duke. And this film was directed by John McTiernan. Predator follows the story of Dutch, played by Arnold Schwarzenegger, a soldier who leads a team of ragtag, muscular, 80s bodybuilder, sexual tyrannosauruses, motherfuckers like that. And, they get contracted by Carl Weathers' character of Dylan, who's a CIA agent, to go into a foreign country and save these people who got shot down by some of these other guys. Anyways, and then it turns out that there's an alien space hunter called the Predator who is hunting them down, and they slowly get picked off one by one as they try to survive against a foe that they have no way encountering. I don't know why I made that sound so fucking special and shit like that. It ain't, but, you know, that's just my opinion. Anyways, my thoughts on this movie. I really like Predator. It's always been one of my favorites. I've always loved the Yautja, as they are called, or the Predator species themselves, even though now, thinking of a film called Predator, you think of something else, because, you know, fucking Epstein motherfuckers and shit like that. And, one thing that really makes me like this movie set up a lot is it starts as almost like a normal 80s action movie with the buff commando motherfuckers going in to save the people, and then you see an action scene of them being super badass and how nothing can stop them. But the reason why I really like this is that the first half of the movie, which is is okay enough, the plot that I'm interested enough because of these actors giving such fun performances through it. Jesse Ventura is so entertaining. I'm goddamn sexual tyrannosaurus. And even Shane Black is in this, who wrote the movie, and he plays this like nerd who makes a bunch of pussy jokes. And like, I don't mind that, because it's just like everybody kind of realizes that he's kind of not funny and kind of like a dweeb at the same time. And I like all that. Then you have this, like, badass tracker guy, and then you have, like, a crazy munitions expert and all that kind of stuff. And it makes such a good team, especially with Arnold's character, because I just love Arnold, and he's entertaining in that. And, you know, Dylan, you son of a bitch. I love that. All the cheesy moments in the beginning. But I will say the film does have actually sort of an interesting plot where what they're doing in, like, Carl Weathers turns out to have other motives and stuff like that, then it's uprooted by the Predator showing up, which is the part of this movie I like a lot more, because the first half really establishes that these guys are really good soldiers. Like, none of these, like, people that they're attacking stand a chance at fighting them. But what I like about that is that you then have a flip to when the Predator shows up, who's one alien, and they are completely outmatched by it. Like, I love all the scenes with the Predator in this. Even though his, like, cloaking effect is not the best aged thing, I feel like it works enough and is, like, kind of cheesy enough to where you get the idea. And I love the character of the Predator in most other things. Like, I love all of his weapons, the plasma caster, the 3-dot laser pointer, and, like, the wrist blades and stuff like that. And he's such a cool character because, like, he takes trophies and, like, is still willing to, like, stand up and, like, face his foe one-on-one fairly in a fight if they've shown themselves to be a worthy hunter, because he does that near the end of the movie, which is such a cool idea. And even though you don't see a whole lot of the creature, they build up a suspenseful enough reveal that it is a very good build-up, because they show, like, the effect, then they show, like, a far away shot, then they just show it, and then it unmasks, and obviously that classic design with the and stuff like, I love all that. And the scenes where it's like stalking them in the jungle and you see like the predator vision and it like mimics their voices and it's such a deeper voice and it's creepy, honestly it is, because like he mimics somebody's voice and it's like like it makes it actually so creepy, even though like the thermal effect is a bit confusing to see what's going on because it's like animated. I don't think it's an actual thermal camera, but I feel like the effect works enough to where I don't have a problem with it. And most of the effects, even though this movie only had a budget around 15 to 18 million dollars, which isn't that much, some of the effects still really hold up. Of course, the Predator's makeup and all of that, and even the performance by Kevin Peter Hall is so good, and the fact that he towers over Arnold obviously is super intimidating and very. The point is that this buff Arnold guy, who, you know, Arnold is like the, you know, the Terminator, pretty much going up against an alien to where he couldn't beat it, which I just really like that. And Stan Winston's effects for the Predator, especially with the animatronic face at the end and like the little clicks and all that. I love all of that. It's such good makeup effects that I absolutely love seeing. And like the stalking second half of the film is entertaining and kind of action oriented because they have to think to outsmart this thing. And you know, some of the effects, you know, they cut away from some of the kills, but some are still really like the arm still shooting the bullet. And obviously this is the movie that does run, get to the chopper, come on, we got to go. I love all that. And even some of the performances I found to be very entertaining. Arnold does a good enough job at being like the badass leader and stuff like that. Obviously, he's an action movie icon and he insanely works in the actiony moments and especially going up at the Predator at the end, because we wouldn't have such classic lines like "Get to the chopper" or "You are one ugly motherfucker" like without Arnold. And I feel like he does a good enough job to where you understand how he can be evenly matched with the Predator by the end, because he, you know, finds the mud weakness that hides the Predator's thermal vision and stuff like that, which I really enjoy. And then you have Bill Duke playing Mac, and what I really like about him is he has like this like bro, like super tough guy relationship with Blaine, played by Jesse the Body Ventura, who's just he has an MTV shirt on in this, and I just found that so fucking hilarious. But he does a good enough job in this, and like he's just a badass carrying a giant gun. He's like, I ain't got time to bleed, like stuff like that. Yeah, just classic lines yet again. But no, what I love about him is that once Blaine, Jesse Ventura, dies, he then just goes off the fucking deep end. Like, he ends up killing a pig, he, like, cuts himself with a razor, and, like, he's like, I see you over there, like, when he's talking to him. I feel like he's very entertaining at playing that crazy guy. And Sonny Landham, who plays Billy, the tracker, I actually really found him kind of badass and intimidating. He doesn't have a lot of words, but to be honest, when you look at his face and you see the fear and how he says, there's a man out there and it ain't nothing I've ever seen. Like, I love that, how he himself, who's like a badass tracker dude, realizes something's chasing them and he's terrified out of his mind. And that really still builds up to the effective reveal of the Predator at the end, which is one of the best parts of this movie. I also would say I really like the direction and like the camera movement. I noticed this while watching it, that like the camera always seems to like pan across to everybody and you like see each character in like one tracking shot, which I really enjoy, and I think that works very well. And I really enjoy the climax of Arnold versus the Predator, where he has a leg up on the Predator because he himself can cloak him, so both of them are cloaked, but Arnold at least knows how to counter him. And then obviously you get the cool ass like beep beep boop, and then he blows up and shit like that, which just adds more to the Predator lore, which is by far the most interesting thing out of this movie. But the movie itself is also very entertaining. Also, Alan Silvestri's score for this movie is fucking amazing. I love the score in this music. The score in this movie. the Predator theme is very good and it is iconic. Like, I love every moment of Alan Silvestri's music in this. But yeah, obviously, I definitely recommend this one. I think it's an 80s action horror sci fi movie that holds up very well. It starts as an action movie, but then evolves into a Predator, like a slasher movie, which I think works very well, establishing that these guys are badasses. Then it flops over to them getting hunted by one thing, and when you get to see that thing, it is so cool and intimidating with some fun performances, some really good effects for being as low budget as it is, and yeah, I definitely recommend this one. If you guys have any if you guys have any other movie requests you would like me to cover, please comment those down below. If you guys want to share your opinion, I'm always down to that. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. Please like and subscribe down below. And what do you mean? Yo, man, I found some fluorescent blood stuff outside. I think it's the Predator. It's some like glow stick looking fluid. That ain't his blood. That is his cum. We have to go hunt him, cause if it comes, we can kill it. No, I don't think that's true. Don't question me. Get to the chopper, come on! Fine, let's get to the fucking chopper. Come on, Arnold.